IBC. This is Aaron Muthalamer, and today I am starting the S's of my collection. But before that, I forgot one of my R's because I got to quit doing this. I had a few stacks of records over there, and one of the late ones of the R's was in there because I used it for a contest entry. And so I'm going to start off with that, and then I'll get into the S's. So that one I missed was Rock's Gang, which is one of my favorite glam metal albums ever. Things you've never done before. I bought this on cassette right when it came out. Listened to it a million times. It's great. Killer guitar work. It's almost like they're almost like a thrash shredder guitars on here at times. Not the heavy, but just how they shred. Just really killer. It's got Scratch My Back and No Easy Way Out. Ball and Chain, Fastest Gun in Town. Red Rose is a really good slower song. But this album is really good, and one of my favorites of the whole glam sleaze metal era. It's a really great record if you get a chance to hear it. Okay, so now I start with my S's, and this here is a really good band here. Unfortunately, this is the only album I have of them. I've been looking for the others, but they're extremely hard to get. This is Saigon Kick's debut. And I actually saw them in the Roseland Theater in Portland, Oregon before this album came out. And they were really cool. They came down and hung out with me and my friends and talked to us for a couple hours after the show. Really good record. It's got What You Say and What Do You Do and Colors and Month of Sundays. Really good record. I really love their two follow-ups too. They're really good, and I've been trying to get them on vinyl for a long time. I have them on cassette or CD, one form or the other. But this is a really good band from Florida. Kind of a not really glam metal, but they're not thrash. They're kind of just a heavy metal, kind of in the glam era. They had a big hit from their follow-up, a slow song that was a big hit called "Love Is on the Way." But this here is their debut. It's really good. Kind of funky at times, heavy at times, really quirky. Great music here. And this here is another one of my favorite bands of that era. This is Salty Dog with Every Dog Has Its Day. And a great record. This is more of a bluesy, glam, sleaze rock. The song Come Along is amazing, has this killer bass line and it's real catchy. And my friend's band used to play that, and it was always a crowd pleaser. Really good song. But this whole thing is really great. It's they do a cover of Spoonful. This is really good. Really great song there. Lonesome Fool is really good. Every song. Sim Salabim, Keep Me Down. Really energetic, bluesy, heavy. What I call heavy metal. Really good stuff here. Salty Dog. This here is a duo I'm not entirely that familiar with. It's Sanford and Townsend, Smoke from Distant Fire. I think they're kind of folk pop type band, act, whatever you call them. But I got this in the collection. I actually have never listened to this, so my stepdad's told me about a couple songs on it, but I've never taken the time to listen to it. I just got so much stuff; it's hard to hear everything. And all right, next up, I got a great artist here, and this is Santana, debut record. Really good record. Of course, it's got some great songs. Killer Evil Ways is on here. Soul Sacrifice, Jingo. Great guitarist, great band. The singer of his band at this point, I believe, there he is. It's Greg Raleigh, who after he was on the first 3 Santana records as the singer and keyboardist, he went on to form Journey. And so it's really good. I like Santana a lot. And then here's Abraxas, his second record. Really good record here too. This is it's as good as his first one. They're both classics. His first 3 are all classics, I think. Just great records. This has got Black Magic Woman on it and Okomava. Really good stuff here. And I believe at this point Neil Schon was also on it. Let me see. And he went on to he might have just been on the third one, actually. He was the guitarist that, with Greg Raleigh, went and formed Journey. And here's the third record here, Santana 3. Another really good one. Of course, Santana's a great guitarist. Let me see here. Yep, Neil Schon, Greg Raleigh. Yep, there they are. They're both on this one. I'm almost positive. Another really good record here. First three are all classics, just great records. Then I've got his greatest hits. Good record here. I tend to turn to this one more because it's just, I don't know, I like it. But they're all good. And then I've got, I believe this is how you pronounce it, Caravanserai, but I might be pronouncing that way off. Another really good record from Santana. At this point, Greg Raleigh and Neil Sean had gone on, had left, and there's the record there. Really good record here, though. These are all, I mean, he's such a great guitarist. All his records are good. Then I got Amigos. He always has great gatefolds when he has them. They're really cool looking. Another really good record. That's kind of cool labels there. And then this one is Inner Secrets. Kind of underrated. I like the early ones better, but this one's good as well. They're all good, you know. Everything he does is pretty good. And here's this one I really enjoy. This is Marathon. A little bit of ring wear, but the record plays really nice. And this is I'm going to screw this up. Davidip Carlos Santana, The Swing of Delight. I'm not sure how to pronounce that first name there, but I gave it my best. There it is, and this is a double record. And that's just those plain labels there. Then I got some Z-Bop. And Beyond Appearances. And the last one I have is a reissue of Supernatural, which I really enjoy. He had a bunch of guest stars on here. Of course, he had the big hit with Smooth with Rob Thomas on here. And you know, they did a pretty good job on the repress. It's got a little attached booklet. It sounds really nice. Really good sounding record. And it's on white vinyl. All my others are OG copies. That's the only repress I have. And then this next artist, I wish I had more of him. I really need to get more. This is the only one I have by Joe Satriani. It's What Happens Next. One of my favorite guitarists ever. He was very influential in heavy metal because he was like, he taught a bunch of great guitarists like Steve Vai and Kirk Hammett from Metallica. He actually gave lessons to when they were first starting out. That's how good this guy is. He can give them lessons. So I think Steve Vai was like a teenager and kept pestering him to give him guitar lessons. And yeah, he's a great guitarist. I really love all his stuff. This is the only one I have on vinyl. What's that called? Flying in a Blue Dream is my favorite of his. I love that, where he sings like 4 songs on it. And most of his are just instrumental, but I really love Flying in a Blue Dream. I've been looking for it on vinyl for a long time. I have it on cassette only, but this is really good. And here's a really great band here, but this is, until I got my big metal collection I just got, this is my only record I have by them, and this is Sabotage, Power of the Night, sorry. Great record. I love this record. Really good. Yeah, Hard for Love. I love that song. Power of the Night. Washed Out. This is a great record. They're really good. Another Florida band. Really good band there. This here is an old band who was very influential in music, actually, because a whole bunch of bands came out of this band. This is Savoy Brown. And this is a few members of Foghat were in here. One of the guys was in Fleetwood Mac for a bit. UFO, Yes. I mean, all these different members of this band have been in other bands. But the singer was Lonesome Dave, and he's a Foghat singer, and 2 other members from Foghat. And yeah, really interesting. Look at this cover. That's pretty great. And I also have Raw Sienna. Another great cover. Not as good as that one, but it's pretty good as well. So they're one of the original, one of the first on Parrot Records. They're, a bluesy rock band. And they look like they're heavy metal from their covers almost. But here's Looking In, which is a really good cover here as well. That's really, really interesting there. There's the back. And there's the band at the time. They had a bunch of, they've changed their lineup a million times to Parrot Records again. They're really good. Really good band. Then next up, I got another one of my favorites. This is a British hard rock metal band. I call it all heavy metal. So this is Saxon with Strong Arm of the Law. Heavy Metal Thunders on this one. This is a really good record. And then I got some Wheels of Steel. Another really good one. Susie Hold On, original version is on this, which will be coming up again. I never really got into Saxon much in the 80s, but in the last 10, 15 years, I've really started to listen to them a lot. I really like them. This is my favorite album of theirs here, Power and the Glory. Great record. I love this. It's probably their most heavy album I've heard of them. The song Power and the Glory is just amazing. Redline, Susie Hold On, Nightmare, Warrior. The Eagles Landed is on this, which is an amazing song. Very epic song. Really good band. I love this album. And this one here I love equally, almost as well as Crusader. Another really great record. And this is, very, very killer stuff here. Sailing to America, Crusader with the prelude is really cool. It's almost like you're in an epic movie, kind of like the cover shows here. It's pretty cool. And the song, Rock City, really good album. Yeah, I won't take this one out. Then I've got Innocence Is No Excuse. I don't care for this one as much as those other four, but this is still good. All their records are good. They're good. They're a really good band. This one I thought was a little more commercial, but it's still a good record. They haven't put out a bad one really. Then I go from Saxon to a very different style of music here, and this one here is a record. My mom used to love this record. We had it on 8-track, so I heard it a million times driving around in the car. It's Leo Sayer, Endless Flight. Had a couple really big hits off this called, let me see, what were they? I haven't heard this forever. When I Need You and You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. It's not really my style, but I heard this so much when I was a kid that it just, it's kind of interesting every once in a while. And then here, this is Boz Scaggs with Silk Degrees. Pretty good musician, actually. He does a lot of like rock, but also some disco stuff mixed in. So it's kind of, and he originally came from the Steve Miller Band. The first couple Steve Miller bands that were psychedelic, he was on, which I didn't know until recently. And this one's got Lowdown, which I first heard that actually from that '70s show. They were playing it in there. But this is the song I really like on this is Lido Shuffle. Love that song. Really good song there. And there's the label, just playing Columbia. And then I have Boz Scaggs hits. Boz Scaggs. And here's a band I used to like a lot. This is the only one I have of them. This is Scandal. With, whatever it's called. Just Scandal, yep. And this has got Goodbye to You on it. And Patti Smythe is a singer. I always liked her vocals. She's a good singer, Patti Smythe. She did a really good song on the Hooters record, a duet called Where Do the Children Go? I really like that. But later on, after this, they put out an album with a song called The Warrior that broke them pretty big. But this is a pretty good debut. I believe it's just an EP, yeah, 5 songs. And now for one of my favorite bands. This is Scorpions with Lonesome Crow. Really beat up cover, but the record plays nice. And they were kind of psychedelic at this point. Not quite as heavy on Bomb label. Kind of interesting there. But yeah, it's good. It's not. I prefer their kind of later stuff. Not the 80s, but the 70s. After these first 2 psychedelic records, the best, which I'll get to. And then here's the one with the weirdest cover ever, Flight of the Rainbow. I don't understand this cover. Never have. It's really odd. But that first one had Michael Schenker on guitar, who's great. And this one, I think, is the first one with, Ulrich Roth. And I love Ulrich Roth. He's really great guitarist. And then I need a better copy of this. Mine's kind of beat up, but I couldn't pass it up, and I didn't have it. So, In Trance, great record, one of their best, maybe their best. It's really, really good. And there's the band at this point. And at this point, they were more hard rock, leaning towards metal instead of the pop metal they became in the 80s, which is still good too. But this is a Dark Lady. I love that song. You know, every song on this is good. Evening Wind, killer stuff here. And there's two different covers. One of them you can see a lot more in this area, and this is the edited version. And there's the label there. And next up is Virgin Killer, which I only have this. They have another very controversial cover for this one, which I don't have, but I don't mind. This is fine for me. Another really great record. This is my favorite era. These three records I'm showing of Scorpions. I love this album. Yeah, Hellcat is my favorite song on this. I love Hellcat. Great song. And then this might be my favorite Scorpions record. This is Taken by Force. Really love this record. Killer. And they have a different cover for it too, as well. They seem to have multiple covers for their records a lot. And you know, Steam Rock Fever's on here, which is great. Ride of Our Time. You know, this is a killer record. He's a Woman, She's a Man. That's a really good. My favorite Scorpion song is the first song on the second side called The Cells of Charon. That's just the guitar riff in that just blows me away every time I hear it, and I love that song. Your Light. That's really different. I really like Your Light. Really killer record. This is probably my favorite Scorpions record. Really good. And the next one I actually have 3 copies of, but there's kind of a reason. This here, I don't actually have yeah, I do. Okay. This is a Portuguese version of Love Drive. This is another great record, maybe one of the very best. And this is after Uli Roth. And by this point, they had got, who was it? It might have just, no, there's the 4th, 5th guy. I don't think it was Matthias Jobs at this time. But this is a great record here. It's got Loving You Sunday Morning, Another Piece of Meat is killer. Coast to Coast is a great song. You know, Love Drive, Holiday, great record here. And there's that Portuguese label. And then I have the Japanese version, which is cool. I like the Japanese. I know the Vinyl Guru pointed out and it just says the Japanese, you know, they have all these cool inserts always, but they sound really clean. And the Vinyl Guru pointed out the Japanese don't have a lot of low end, which I've never really noticed because I tend to keep the bass down on my stereo, so it doesn't, because my stereo can't handle the bass. I don't have it. I need to upgrade my stereo, so I've never really noticed that. I guess I will when I upgrade, because I just need a better receiver. And then here's the alternate cover. Really great one here. And there's the band, and there's Love Drive. That's those last 3-4 records are probably their best they did. And then Animal Magnetism. I really love this record too. The song Animal Magnetism is one of my favorite Scorpion songs. Of course, the Zoo's on here and Make It Real. Falling in Love is really good. You know, Lady Starlight. Good record. Not as good as their others, but some of their others, but it's really good. And then the classic Blackout. This is a great record as well. And yeah, this is just amazing here too. The song Blackout, Can't Live Without You, No One Like You, you know, Dynamite, Arizona's Killer, China White. Really good album. And then their big most commercially successful one, Love It for Sting. It's got most of their big hits, you know, Rock You Like a Hurricane and Big City Nights and Still Loving You, and you know, it's a good record. Coming Home, Crossfire is really good. And this here is an EP. It's called Gold Ballads, and this is actually pretty interesting to listen to. It's got 5 songs, and there's the tracks here, instead of me telling you. But it's really good. Has a really good sound quality to this. It's on a Harvest label. You don't see this one every day though. It's pretty good. Then of course Worldwide Live, a great double live record. Most hard rock and metal people know this album very well. Really good stuff here. And let's see, there's the label, the Mercury. And I got some Savage Amusement. Good record, but I'm not quite as solid as those others. I mean, it's all right. Rhythm of Love, Don't Stop to the Top. It's kind of a hit and miss record for me. It's good, but I kind of have to be in the mood for that one, as well as this one here. And I just picked this up. This is a Crazy World repress. Haven't even listened to it yet. I have. I've opened it. I've heard this a lot back when it was out, so I know it pretty well. It's got Tease Me, Please Me, and Don't Believe Her. That's a pretty good song. Crazy World's a really good song. Send Me an Angel is pretty good. I just have never really been a big fan of Winds of Change, even though it's a big hit of theirs. I for some reason, I just never got into that song. The whistling, when I saw them live and that the whistling just piped in, it kind of bugged me. But it's good. And then I got, this is Scorpio Rising, kind of a indie punk type group. Pretty interesting band here. Just an EP. Cool label. Pretty good. This is actually pretty good. I like this. And here's an oddball in my collection. The Earl Scruggs Review, Country Comfort. Still in the shrink though. Some banjo music. Some bluegrass country stuff. Pretty good stuff though. I mean, they're great players. Great musicians. I usually tend to go to rock. But, every once in a while I'll get an itch and I'll put this on. And here's one of my favorite records. I say that a lot, but they are for a reason. So this is Sea Hags. I've loved this album ever since it came out. I still have my old cassette of it, which I listened to so much I probably wore it out. Great record. Killer musicians. Half the Way Valley. I remember I saw that video on Headbangers Ball and I was like, oh my God, I love that. And there's, Back to the Grind and Too Much T-Bone. Bunk Bed Creek's a really cool instrumental that goes into In the Mood for Love. And, great record. Three's a Charm. Killer stuff. It's kind of the heavier, that's what I tend to like is, I was really into what people call hair metal, but I don't call it that. I've always just called it glam or blues metal. And this is, the ones I like are the heavier versions of that, not the more poppy. And this is that style here. Really good stuff. Now I got some Summer Breeze from Seals and Crofts. And it's the gatefold with all the lyrics and, There you go, Seals and Crofts, everyone knows that. And then I've got, whatever the name of this one is, Seals and Crofts. And the same thing there. Oh, Diamond Girl, sorry. And some old Neil Sedaka, sings his greatest hits. We don't know this all that well. I'm sure some of you will know it way better than I do. The record's in really good shape. The cover's VG probably. And then this one here, I actually kind of enjoy a song or two on this one. This is The Hungry Years from Neil Sedaka. And he does a duet with Elton John on here, which I really like, actually. Not a duet, it's his song, but Elton John sings on it. It's called Bad Blood. Pretty good song there. And I'm finishing off with one of my favorite artists. This is Bob Seger. This is the Bob Seger System. Really good record here. This is one of my favorite Bob Seger records. It's got Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, which is killer. Tales of Lucy Blue. It's almost a little psychedelic at times, this record, and it's not quite like the Silver Bullet stuff. It's really good, though. Ivory, I love Ivory. 2x2. This is a great record. I love this record. Bob Seger System. If you like Bob Seger and you haven't heard this one, check this one out. It's really good. Then I got the Smokin' OPs. Another early one of him before the Silver Bullet Band. Good record here as well. Got a song called Bo Diddley. That's really good. Jesse James. I'm a huge Bob Seger fan. I like him a lot. And then I got some Beautiful Loser. This is great. It's got, the song Beautiful Loser. Jody Girl. Traveling Band. Nutbush City Limits is great. This is a good record here. And then I got some Live Bullet. Really good live album. He's a great live performer. That's the label, and you know he's even got Ramblin' Gamblin' Man on here, Catmandu, Turn the Page, Bo Diddley, good stuff. And then just a little out of order. This one should have been next. This is Night Moves. We first started with the Silver Bullet Man. Really good record here. Of course, Turn the Page is on this, which Metallica redid famously. And but Rock and Roll Never Forgets is great. Night Moves is a song. Fire Down Below. This is like a greatest hits, almost Main Street. Sorry. Ship of Fools. Mary Lou. Great record. But this here is my favorite Bob Seger. This is one of those ones that I heard my parents had, and we had it on vinyl and on 8-track, so I heard it constantly, and probably the most listened to childhood record of mine, other than maybe Burton Cummings. But this is Stranger in Town. Great record. Every song is good. Kind of a couple of them are a little overplayed, but it's just such a good record. It just flows really well. Of course, it starts with Hollywood Nights, and then Still the Same, Old Time Rock and Roll, Till It Shines, and Feel Like a Number. Those are all great. But the second side's got my favorite stuff, except for We've Got Tonight. It's hit and miss for me, but Ain't Got No Money. I love that song. The song Brave Strangers is maybe the best one on here. It's really good. And The Famous Final Scene. Great record here. And then another one of his best, Against the Wind. It's got Her Strut, which maybe is my favorite Bob Seger song, because it's a hard rocking song. I really love Her Strut. But Long Twin Silver Line, Fire Lake which has Don Henley and Glenn Frey singing backing vocals on, is really good. Really good album. Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight, Horizontal Bob, You'll Accompany Me, great record. And then a second live record of him, 9 Tonight, which has basically songs from Against the Wind and Strangers in Town. So this is a really good live record. And there's this was probably the height of his career here at this era, of course. This is just a great, it's also got like stuff from Night Moves on it, but really great album here. Then I've got a Japanese pressing of The Distance. Pretty solid record. There's a couple really great songs on here, and some of them are kind of not as good, but it's a really good record actually. Yeah, it's got I love Shame on the Moon, killer song, great song. House Behind a House is good. Even Now was a pretty big hit, good song. Making Thunderbirds. Yeah, this is a good record. Roll Me Away, good stuff. And then I've got Like a Rock. Pretty good record. That song, that was on those commercials so much. Yeah, pretty good album here. And then to finish out, I've got Bob Seger Greatest Hits, double record. They left a lot of his best songs off here. I would have made it a little different myself if I made it, but it's good. It's got some good songs, and it sounds excellent, and it's on this clear vinyl, kind of with a bluish green tint. It's good though. I'll just do this so you can see them if you want to see what's on there. Get the glare off there. So okay, there's the start of my S's, and there's probably going to be 2 or 3 more to finish out the S's in my collection. I got a lot of them. Probably the most of any letter. I'm sure it is actually. And all right, well, have a good day and rock on.